Hello everybody, God bless you all, and let's get to today's video. I didn't think it was possible, but apparently Cities Skylines II has been cancelled, or at the very least gotten some sort of backlash online from people who tend to get offended by everything. This is really strange, and let me explain what's going on, right? I booted up Cities Skylines II to play it this morning, and I happily saw that a patch had come out. The game had been running, a fair bit buggy, a fair bit slow and this and that. I was hoping a patch would come out soon, and boom, it was there, and I was going through all the improvements. And I saw one improvement at the bottom, like, the heck is that? And of course I looked into it. So one of the noted improvements in this patch, and I quote, removed Spasm Radio Ad, and then in brackets, due to offensive content. I'm like, alright, 2023, offensive content. I'm like, sure, I'll bite. What silliness do we have here, right? And so in Cities Skylines, right, as I said, you build cities, you build towns, you have services, you have internet, you have this and that. Anyway, there's a radio ad, right? There is a radio ad for Spasm Electronics, and it's a commercial. And it's basically a woman, she seems to be rapping a little bit, and they're just singing to Spasm Electronics. They're like, they're doing whatever, right? It's a weird little quirky ad. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It goes for like 30 seconds. Think of it in the line of the weird little quirky ads you used to get in Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto 2, Grand Theft Auto 3. Often in those games, I'd find myself just driving around deliberately listening to the radio station just for the sheer garbage that would be said, right? Obviously, the developers of Cities Skylines 2 decided, hey, let's have a little bit of a creative stretch in this and that. However, the word spasm was used, and in 2023, we can't think at all, so let's get offended, let's cancel everything, let's throw our shoe at everyone. This is ridiculous. I want to make fun of it. So, Spasm Electronics, right? For those of you who haven't caught on, it's the first word, spasm. Spasm is normally used as a short abbreviation for the word spastic, or often associated with the other word retard. And these are known as, mental conditions where, people act a certain way. I'm not really going to get into it, but it's a condition. They can't help it. I don't know if it's curable or not or whatever, but it's there. So because it is linked, just that word spasm, to possibly be interpreted as the word spastic, retard, whatever, they've had to remove it due to it being offensive. Because, and let me give you a really silly example right here. Let's put aside the white saviors that on behalf of spastic people who never asked for their help to begin with, right? They've gone offended for them. One, let's stop looking down on people who have a mental illness. People with a mental illness don't need your help, or anyone else's for that matter, right? They are not weak. You want to know what people with a mental illness hate the most? Being treated with rubber gloves and being put in a bubble and being treated differently. That's the whole thing with having a mental illness. They just want to live their lives, right? They don't want these white saviors with their shields protecting them from things that, firstly, aren't insulting at all. Because outside of the word spasm, if you listen to the actual radio ad, and I hunted it down and I listened to it. I'm not going to upload it here in case YouTube has a problem with it, but I listened to it. There's actually not a single derogative, mocking comment or at all towards people with any sort of special needs or mental illnesses whatsoever. The radio ad just seemed to literally just like the word spasm, and we're just playing around with it with this really dorky music sort of thing. As I said, it's a throwaway 30-second ad. So let's have fun here, right? Because it seems a lot of people need to get educated, because a lot of people are actually ironically a little bit special in the head. All right, have you ever used the word stupid? Honestly, have you ever used the word stupid? Have you ever called anyone an idiot? Firstly, if you're saying you've never called anyone that, you are a big fat liar. And also, two, I bet you hard-earned money you still call people those things today. Why do I bring that up? Well, I want to make the argument that if the word spasm is offensive, idiot is offensive as well, and you should immediately remove it from your vocabulary, my dear sir or madam. Because the argument here with the word spasm is certain people are born with certain mental conditions, or they develop it later on and they can't help it, right? Okay, cool. Did you know that some people can't help being stupid? And I actually mean that without it sounding as funny as it sounds. I'm not making fun of people. I'm saying there are people who were born because of their genetic code, because of their mother and father and their grandparents going back and back and back. There are literally people walking among us who are stupid, who their bloodline is literally from stupid people. They can't help it. No amount of study, no amount of research, no amount of doing whatever they can will stop the fact that comparably to other people, they are slower and dumber and easily fall under the word stupid. Does that mean that we should now remove the word stupid from our vocabularies because we are potentially offending people who suffer from a condition they can do nothing about? Of course not. And that is why this is absolutely ridiculous. This is a fictional city builder where you can do so much chaos. And whenever people complain about high taxes in my game, you know what I do? I bulldoze their house. This is a video game. This isn't the real world. Relax. And even in the real world, let's stop protecting people who aren't asking for our protection. That is actually offensive in itself. Cancel culture does not belong in video games. I'm glad that Cities Skylines brought a patch out that addressed a number of issues, and they need to keep bringing out those patches because there's definitely room for improvement. But removing the Spasm Electronics ad because someone somewhere got offended, you need to go out and smell some flowers. This is the video game world, and if you can't handle something like that, if you can't handle this this ridiculous ad that means nothing, that, as I said, doesn't actually mock anyone, if you can't handle that, how in the world can you handle video games where people die and people lose heads and where there's explosions and blood and guts? How can you be a gamer at all? The answer is, you're not. Alright, now that we've made fun of these ridiculous people, I'm gonna go play Cities Skylines. I don't actually care that the ad is there or not. Most people actually found it annoying, but it's the principle here. They should have never had to get rid of the ad in the first place, and also stop empowering weirdos online. The reason why they freak out is because companies listen. In society, we have always had weird people that got offended over everything and just yelled over everything. They were actually the ones that are actually special, and you know what we did? We ignored them. The only difference between now and, back several decades or whatever, is that when people said stupid things, I hope I didn't offend anyone there. When someone said stupid things, you know what we did? We ignored them. We ignored them. Game developers and publishers need to start doing that as well. That's it. I actually think the game's really fun, but dang, it needed that patch. I'm looking forward to playing it now. Alright, God bless you all. Bye bye.